Denny Schaefer. He's an idiot.
Hey everybody, howdy doody, happy Friday, funky Friday, and Tigers opening day. Wearing my Tigers shirt, boom, Tigers play today, first pitch 110, and you know, we're always excited and optimistic for a new season when it comes to the Tigers.
My whole life.
We've made a couple of changes on our microphone, so hopefully you can hear us okay. And if not, please let us know. Make sure we're coming in loud and clear. If not, I'll make some adjustments.
Check, baby. Check,
Okay.
baby.
Why do I hear something? Oh,
Because
it's that.
it's my phone.
Okay,
I
cool.
just turned it down.
No big deal. All right, welcome to show 32. Yeah. Woo! 32. It is 32.
I may have put 31.
31 was wait a minute.
No, I think it's
Yeah,
31.
31 was the last one we did, and this is 32.
Oh, well.
Why, you put 31 on there? It's all right, we'll make the
Honestly,
adjustment.
I just did it and I don't even remember.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. It's called old age, people, old age. All right, Friday sponsor, Johnny Castillo, my man, love you. Hit it. Ooh, thank you, Johnny Castillo. You are the man, and I'm looking forward to be laying in the box in your funeral home one day. All right, it is Friday, and we're gonna have fun as we always do. Are you cold?
You know, I go back. I'm not cold now
She
because
smacked her leg.
my knee hurts now. It just pulled the focus.
Okay, all right. Well, I gotta move my
Ooh,
water.
golly, that hurts.
I gotta move my
Oh
water.
my gosh,
'cause
we are
I have a cat.
you know what show?
All right, so here we go. First off, before we get into the meat of what we're doing, we got a couple of little things we like to call. Okay, suck it up, Alice. Don't be a sissy. What? You would do you say that stuff to me all the time, and yet I say it to you, and then I get the face. Anyway, a couple of one-offs. First one is yesterday I went 7 weeks to the day, people. I had total knee replacement. Okay. So as you know, after my 2.5 week, the doc was like, dude, where's your walker? Where's your cane? I'm like, home. He's like, everybody comes in with one or the other. I'm like, not me, dude. After 4 days, I was done with both. Not because I'm some kind of superhero, because I'm not. I'm a sissy boy. And it's just, I didn't think I needed it. So I go in 7 weeks to the day yesterday, had a great report from my doc. And as a matter of fact, right at the end, I decided to record a very important question. Sharon, if you will hit the video, please. All right, I'm here with the dude who did my total knee replacement. This is Dr. Irvin. Hello, Dr. Irvin.
Howdy.
Here's the question. It's the most important question that I need answered, and it's probably the most important question you'll get asked today. Here it is. When can I return to playing golf?
This afternoon.
Oh, you're lying.
No, seriously.
Seriously?
Yeah, for sure.
Wait a minute. So
You should start to hit golf balls probably first. Go to the range. At least kind of ease into it a little bit. It's fine to golf.
So every day I should be playing golf.
You should play golf every day.
All right. I did that for my wife. All right. Perfect. Thanks, Doc. Boom. There you go.
I think you did it for the podcast because this is the first I'm seeing of this.
No, I did it. For both. Anyway, my doc's awesome. Irvin is awesome.
He reminds me of a young version of Brad Crown.
He's so
a little
young.
thinner, but yeah.
He is so young. Anyway, matter of fact, I think, and I said this yesterday on the radio, I think in the 90s when I was on KISS, he used to listen to me in high school. Yeah. That's how friggin' old I am.
Everybody listened to you when they were in high
Anyway,
school.
so there you go. I'm now clear. So I went to Maple Grove. Shout out to Rick. And no, he's not selling Maple Grove. Stop with the lies, people. And Karen, what's up? I went and I hit golf balls yesterday. I hit about 40 balls. No pain. So as soon as the weather breaks, guess what? Den Man, Cooch, Jimmy Shock, Ricky Claire, Chuck Herman, all my boys. Time to play some golf. All right. Now, I didn't put this up because, it's HIPAA, but I got the bill. Did I tell you this?
You told me you got the bill.
Okay. So let me just run down what it costs to have total knee replacement. All right. So at the surgery center at Wildwood, just for the surgery center, it was $3,083.
When you say just for the surgery center.
Yeah, like where I went at, the facility I was at, all of that. It's like
Recoup
a hospital,
room.
like a hospital stay. If you
Okay.
go to a hospital, they have a room charge. So $3,000 for that. The actual surgery, ready? $59,752.27.
So I guess my ballpark of 25,000 was way off.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just
And
checking.
then physician services. I'm not sure what that is, but that was, let's see, $184. Let me tell you something. If it wasn't for Medicare, I would not have had knee surgery. There's no way I'm going to take that kind of hit for our family. 60 freaking grand because our old Cumulus insurance sucked.
Whew.
Yeah, that would have been out of that 60 grand, we would have paid probably 20 of it, 20 or 30 grand
so your
of it.
1,300 life insurance policy isn't looking too bad right now.
Well, listen, I have two more. I have 2 more days. I'd have to pay it today. Do you want me to pay it? Because
No, we need to put it towards your knee.
that's no. You know how much I pay of the 59,000? Just take a guess. $59,752.27.
1,000.
How about $26?
Kidding.
That's what it says.
Wow.
Out of the and the
Wow.
$3,000 for the surgery center, I have to pay double that, almost $51 for that.
Oh.
And then the other charge 120. So the whole thing cost me less than $200 to have my knee done. Now
Well,
there's other
Okay.
there's other
that's worth
costs
it.
too, I got to go back for the doctor and I get an x-ray and all that. So, but thank God. And it's why, it comes to $197.88 to I owe 'em, which I'll gladly pay as I'm skipping.
I might need one since I just whacked my knee. But hey, I'm going to
can
suck it
happen.
up.
There you go. And listen, you've said that to me so many times. You got no room. So you need to get off.
I highly doubt I've
Oh
said
my
suck
gosh.
it up about your knee surgery.
You know what? You know those little things that you hold up? Can I have it for a sec?
No, because that's mine.
False. And this side should say liar. Anyway,
It's going to be one of those podcasts.
it is. And my left knee, I'm getting done in November, just so you know, like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So we don't have it. I'm penciled in right now to get my left knee
Right
done.
before Thanksgiving? You seriously want that done? Right
Yes.
before Thanksgiving?
Well, do you want me to do it between Christmas or Thanksgiving and Christmas? No, I thought November would be good. That way, within 2 weeks, I'm pretty much rolling.
Mhm.
So if you want me to move it between then, I'll see if they're doing it. I don't know if they are, but I'm a preferred customer with Dr. Irvin and Trina. They love me. All right. One other thing before we get into the study. Are you okay over there?
I'm just looking at people's comments.
Okay.
Can I read this real quick?
Sure. And then
'Cause
I have a
we're-
quick one-off. Go.
Tommy Atwell just had a pacemaker defibrillator. Total bill was $239,000.
Man.
After all insurance, it cost him $900.
Boom.
Wow.
Thank you, medical.
I mean, doesn't your heart just go out to people that don't have insurance or can't afford insurance? And they just
yes.
have to live with what they're dealt,
Yes, if I was still,
or they live in the hole.
if I was still getting insurance with Cumulus, they would pay 80%. I would pay 20 after you hit like a $7,000 deductible. So it's $7,000 plus what is 20% of 60 grand? Do the math.
100
Crazy expensive.
120.
So, it's a lot of money, people. Anyway, yep, that's awesome, Tommy, taking care of us. My sister Mary is cracking up. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
Thank you, Mary. Are you done with those? Nope. Michelle?
Well, I'm trying to get the ones that deal with your knee.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I was at Wildwood Surgical Center. I was reading an old Toledo City paper. I'm going to try to attach what I found, Denny, the trendsetter. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. Let's
right.
see. And there you go. Now, can I do this real quick? This is for all the guys out there that, well, let's just say we have issues with our hearing. A study found that men have worse hearing than women. So this is not only for men, but it's also for women to maybe cut their man some slack. Good news for zoned out men. When your wife says you don't listen, you got an excuse now. A new study found men literally can't hear as well as women, and there's nothing you can do about it. Scientists tested people's hearing in different countries around the world. They found it's true everywhere. Women have superior hearing. Okay, anything on this one before I keep going?
Well, why didn't you highlight? It probably just comes down to anatomy. You didn't.
It does.
You didn't highlight that. You didn't highlight that sentence. Though.
Okay,
I'm kind of curious by that.
Okay, anatomy is women have superior hearing. It's just like you have bigger boobs than we do. It's anatomy.
Well,
it doesn't really.
Jury's out on that for some men and women.
That is true. There are some
moobs.
There are some
like Olivia laughing at yours.
There's some moobs. I got them. Anyway, they tested people's hearing in different countries. The average woman has a 2 decibel advantage and up to 6 decibels with some frequencies, like a baby crying or all of that. They think it might come down to hormones or how our ears develop in the womb. They think it's possible women's brains are better at processing sound as well. So when it comes to hearing, men might have worse ears and inferior brains. Well, we already know that.
I wouldn't say inferior. I'd say more childlike brain.
Yeah, we don't grow up.
Right.
The study also found that regardless of gender, we all tend to hear out of our right ear a little better than our left, and they're not sure why. I don't know why. Whenever I need to hear, I always lean left. What do you do?
I know for one of my ears, and I don't know which one it is, I didn't realize until one morning I was laying in bed and I was laying on a side, and then I turned and all of a sudden I could hear birds chirping outside the window.
Mm-hmm.
So I leaned back over that ear and I couldn't, I want to say it's my right ear. I can't, but according to the doctor, both of my ears are cleaned and working just fine. So I don't know.
They're not plugged?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't know. I'm left-handed, so maybe that's why I lean left. I don't know why. But there you go, ladies. Next time you're challenging your husband, let's just say, because he didn't hear you, maybe it's because he doesn't have the kind of hearing you do.
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
What is the age that a man should consider hearing aids? 65?
I don't know. It would depend on how I don't know. I mean, I think that is up to every individual.
Because I have a brother-in-law who's had them for years.
Right.
He's not too prideful to wear them.
The reason I don't have
and my
them,
dad was 93, 2 days shy of 94.
Right.
And he swore he did not need them.
Yeah, he did. Anyway,
well, he didn't think he did.
Because of these little things that I wear on the radio, it's kind of hard, because if you're using hearing aids all the time and then you take them out and then you can't put headphones on over your hearing aids, all that stuff. I mean, at some point, I think every human, if you live long enough, you're going to need them. So I guess it's up to each individual. The thing that I think is important to say is we need to give each other grace when we don't hear as well, because there's a lot of times that I'll be walking out of a room or I'll be on the move and somebody starts talking to me. And it's like, if I don't stop, I don't hear it. So I got to stop, walk back over, interrupt what I'm doing just because they're not projecting or enunciating properly. And this is hypothetical. I have nobody in mind.
It sucks to be Denny Schaefer.
No, I'm just giving, this is not just me. This is men in general, and it's just better that, you just talk to us and, okay, I'm in a hole. I'm out of this one. All right, there you go. I just think that's good information to have, ladies. that you have superior hearing.
we're
and
superior.
you have superior brains. I totally agree with both of those statements, but cut your hubby or spouse some slack when it comes to him not hearing you. Okay. There you go. Because my response is now going to be, man, I wish I had your ears. And your boobs for that matter. Woo! All right. Topic time. Go.
Dare I tell the conversation on the beach when Olivia was younger?
I don't care. I have no secrets here with our podcast family.
And so she was, well, I completely forgot about the story, but one of my sisters reminded me of it because it's one of her favorite ones about Olivia. But
Okay.
we were out on the beach, South Carolina, maybe Charleston. So she was probably 4 or 5. No, it was before we moved down south. So 3. She had to be 3.
Okay.
And of course, I'm, still heavy from having Josh. Well, I'm still heavy from having Josh, but that's besides the point. And she asked me, you and I were sitting next to each other on the beach, and she's like, "Why are your boobs so saggy?"
To me?
To me.
Oh, okay.
And you busted out laughing just like you did. And she looked at you and she goes, "Why are you laughing? Yours are too."
Yeah.
And then she came up with moobs for you.
That's Olivia.
Yeah.
Sassy pants.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's a great story.
but one thing I do want to ask or make a point of stating here is I think I need a clothing allowance for our podcast, because I noticed the last podcast, a few different women were commenting on what I had on, and it's happened before. Someone's commented on my nails. So I think Sharon needs a little allowance for attire for the podcast. People want it. My public wants it.
No.
Yeah, they do.
No, you want it.
Nope, they do.
So we're on a fixed income.
You have a $50,000 knee. Can I have a $5 top?
We didn't have to pay that $59,000.
Oh.
So we're on a fixed income, but then I found out that we means I'm on a fixed income. Sharon is not. So if you want to go to there's a Goodwill not far. If you want,
I love Goodwill.
If you want to go peep out Goodwill, pick out some gently used garments, and hopefully there's no, bugs or critters in there. Have at it.
Oh, please. That's not what Goodwill carries.
I'm just saying. Anyway, if you feel the need to buy some new outfits, fine. But you people that are encouraging her, I don't like it.
Michelle is trying to post the picture.
Okay.
So she could email it to you, but we're not going to be able to get to it probably today.
No.
So, all right. So today's podcast topic.
Okay. Well, Logo Joe's got a couple things in there.
Yeah. Well, there's one that, All right. Let's see here. Richard, good morning, Denny. How are you doing today? My friend, happy TGIF. Sherry.
Hello, Sherry.
What up, girl?
Let's
see here.
Low Dojo's off work today. Tigers pregame. You can put that one up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have boobs and owls in the same comment. Sharon won't put that up.
Nope.
Yeah, Tigers pregame. Man, some of the pregame of the Tigers is just annoying. The TV personalities they have. Sharon and I were watching it. Sharon goes, "What is that?" I'm like, annoying TV personalities in Detroit. I mean, it's worse than the ones in Toledo. It's like brutal.
All right, let's see here.
Open up the wallet, Denny. Let Sharon go to Dollar General and go nuts.
That's right. That's right.
Or Dollar Tree.
Oh, Lori, preach it, girl.
Happy wife, happy life. Go get pampered and shop.
Yeah, I don't want to be hearing about my trips to the beauty salon coming out over the 100.7, the Ticket Airways. And you know what?
Well, then don't go.
Shout out to Chris for having my back, because he's all about self-care.
Yeah. Okay.
So there you go. Eric says birthday gift idea. Eric is watching on Instagram, as was Troy.
That's super cooch.
Yep.
right, cool.
Oh, it was an article about the mayor and the government teat.
Oh, when he said that. Yeah, I got him to say government teat on his State of the City earlier. It was last year. It was pretty awesome.
Yes, Michelle, clearance are better than Goodwill, and no one knows that better than me.
Oh, she's the queen of clearance right over here. Kidding me?
I have bought dresses off the floor from like that Loft and Ann Taylor stores before, because I found them.
Why does somebody put them on the floor? Why don't they put them on the rack?
Well, they hang them up and then they fall off the hanger, and people are just lazy.
Oh, okay.
But
There
leave
you
it to me.
That's
You
right.
know, my eyes, my hearing, whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Smart shopper.
Yeah.
Hey, any more comments?
No. All right. So today's topic,
What is it?
we need people to play along. Once respected occupations. What do you mean? What is it?
What? I didn't say what is it.
You just said, what is it?
Well, no, just I'm playing along for the people that don't know.
Oh. That's
And
your acting?
And I'm feisty. I'm feisty today. Okay, so
That's a word.
some professions that were once respected have now become the punchline of today's workplace jokes. One that used to come with a certain status, a decent paycheck, stability, and a reputation for being absolutely essential to society. Well, those days are gone. Meanwhile, brand new jobs pop up that nobody could have ever predicted. Viral content creators like podcasters,
Influencers.
influencers, especially a
Senior influencer.
Yep. What else? AI powered everything. Suddenly people are making bank by posting pictures of themselves eating breakfast. Okay, I don't know about that, but they list the once respected occupations that have slipped into disrepute. That's a little strong, but anyway, I find this interesting because I have a long line of family members who are in this industry, who have been in this industry for decades, that the number one that used to be respected is not anymore is teachers. Don't you find that interesting that teachers used to be, well respected and not so much anymore? And they give the example of lack of respect by the government, lack of respect by parents, lack of respect by kids. It's astonishing. And of course, we have a daughter who's a teacher, and the stories we could tell you, but we won't because she's currently teaching. So,
Yeah.
Your thoughts on teachers?
Well, no, I agree. And it always used to be that the parents would side with the teacher back in our day. There was one family that my parents would always say, oh, there they go to, fight against the teacher and the administration for their kid, proving that the kid was right or whatever, But back then it was more when you got to the principal's office, you knew you were in worse trouble when you got home type
Right.
of deal.
Right.
But I just had a conversation with another teacher who is now retired, was a teacher for 32 years, and their son taught for 4 years and
Okay.
got out because of the parents. Which is sad.
Very sad.
So I don't know. I don't know what triggered it or how that all just completely flip-flopped. I mean, I just read another story where a 30-year-old teacher was inappropriately carrying on a relationship with a 15-year-old. So stories like that don't help teachers.
Well,
A teacher shows up at a house unannounced
right.
to wonder where the homework went, and then the parent shows up and like all these different stories, it doesn't help their cause.
Well, here's the thing. There are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of teachers. One story like that, or two stories like that, or 10 stories like that should not wreck the profession.
No, I agree.
Teaching is a calling. Teaching is something that you do because you feel like, well, you're led. It's a calling. It comes from God. It's not because, here's a paycheck and I get summers off. No, if you go into it for that, don't teach. Don't, because you're not going to be a good teacher, and we have too many crappy teachers. And I mean, listen, it's only a matter of time. I'll bet you within the next 10 years that teachers are gone. The profession is gone, and it's all AI. How long before it's all going to be
what? And students are going to be at home?
Either at home, or they'll be looking at a computer screen, and it'll be AI that teaches them. And there might be a monitor that sits there who's making, $12 an hour to make sure that take attendance, make sure people are there, and two, make sure that they're paying attention or doing whatever. Somebody that is just there for discipline. It's going to save a lot of money, and that's what it's going to come down to. And it breaks my heart that, look what's going on in Perrysburg right now, because their levy failed. And I would not want to have my kids in that school system now with all the cuts that they're making.
Well, and Otsego just went through that last year.
Otsego, same
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
You know, people don't want to pay for our kids' educations. And, you know, I get it, but I have never voted against a levy that would hurt our schools ever. And you're like, oh, that's stupid. Listen, somebody did it for me when I was in school. The system is broken. I get it, but I'm still willing to pay a few extra bucks or whatever it is to help out our schools. And I always will do that. Now we're empty nesters. And yeah, this would be the time. Well, screw that. Our kids aren't in there. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, no, because if you have a great school system, you're going to be in an area where the housing market is good. So that's, yeah, no.
Exactly. So there you go. So basically it comes down to greed.
So you say teaching.
Well, that's what it says. That's the number one. All right, your turn.
My number one, stay-at-home mom, which did not make the list at all.
Okay, explain. Why don't stay-at-home moms get respect?
They don't get
Once
respect.
respected.
People look down on them, or people are like, oh, you know, and it is the hardest job. And the only reason I know that is because I was out in the working world before I became a stay-at-home mom. I had several jobs and they were great, fulfilling. Stay-at-home mom is the hardest job I have ever done, but it's the most important job I have ever done. And it's been the most fulfilling job I've ever done. And so I hate it when I see the conversations or overhear the conversations of like people putting stay-at-home moms down, or a stay-at-home mom feeling bad about herself because that's what she has chosen to do.
So why do people feel bad about being stay-at-home moms? I mean, that's the part. Is it because they're listening to the lies of society? Like, oh, you need to live your best life, and your best life isn't raising his
You
kids.
were created for more. You were made for more, and why
No.
should you, but look at me. I mean, like I mean, and I can only speak from my own experience, but I had an amazing career of home staging,
Yeah.
built my own business
Yeah.
from the ground up
Right.
for 9 solid years, and then turned around and sold it to another stay-at-home mom whose kids were the age where ours were when I started working,
Right.
So I don't know. I just,
Yeah. I say,
my mom was a stay-at-home mom. A lot of my sisters were stay-at-home moms.
they used to call them housewives, but you can't do that anymore. Stay-at-home parent, I think is what they call it. It's better for the kids to have a parent home with them and raise their own kids.
Getting them off the bus
Big,
is the most important time of day.
huge.
Yeah. So
yeah.
but so that's my number one.
Okay, that's a
It
good one.
didn't make any list, which people probably don't look at it as an occupation, but it is a calling.
Oh, and
It's a passion.
If you extrapolated it out of everything that stay-at-home moms do, they'd be paid well into six figures.
Yeah.
Well into six figures, but nobody ever looks at it that way.
Yeah.
So good job, honey. Thanks for doing that. I didn't mind dragging my butt to work every day. So
Well, listen, it was a blessing from God that you made enough money to sustain and provide for us, because there are a lot of situations where that's not the case.
no, both people gotta
And
work.
yes, and the woman has to work. So
You gotta work. You gotta pay the bills and live within your means, man, like we are now.
living within your means.
So there you go. Let's see. Journalism. Somewhere along the way, it stopped being about delivering the news in a timely manner, started being about getting clicks and being the first to report something, even if it's not true. Oh, that's my biggest pet peeve with media, especially the TV news media, of how they, they'll put anybody on the air just to one up somebody else. And then they find out later that, oops, none of it was right. It was all wrong. So you get people all spun up. That's irresponsible, people. That is irresponsible.
Well, don't you think too, it's also come to be about opinion, and no longer is just state the facts, move to the next story, state those facts, move to the next story.
Right.
It's all about, because now you have all the talk shows, in
Right.
between all the news shows, but they kind of come across as news shows, or you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. And, opinion is, it's not news. It's just what you believe. It may be right, may be wrong. The biggest knock against journalism is for decades, and I mean decades, people trusted news people. They slanted stories to back their opinions and beliefs about things. And I know that because I did it in the 90s when I was on the radio. And every human being does it. You leave information out because it might hurt what you believe. And, lies by omission are still lies.
Right.
So there you go.
Hold on a minute. Oh,
go ahead.
I was just going to read a comment.
Do it.
Brittany. I always felt blessed to be a stay-at-home mom, but also felt like I wasn't pulling my weight because I wasn't bringing in money. It's a double-edged sword, good and bad.
There you go.
Yep. Right. You can read Mike's. He's got a lot.
Not surprising about teachers. Mom was a teacher. Disobedience when it's not stopped at home oozes outside of it, and it's probably not going to get any better. 2 Timothy 3:1-2. King James version.
Woo, King James.
Dude, old school. Love it. This known also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and unholy. Mike, you're absolutely right.
Yep.
I believe we're in end times, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love it. King James.
Going back to Brittany. Brittany is the one that actually purchased Glass City Staging from me.
Now she's killing it.
She is killing it.
She's getting paid. Good for her.
Terry just got a new work computer. I agree with you, Sharon. I stayed at home with my daughter for 3 years and then worked part-time 2 to 12 shifts. Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, I got another one, or to you, but back to you now.
Okay, I have my second one.
All right.
Which I was stunned that it was like number 12 on the list. Mine's number 2 is the President of the United States.
Oh.
The disrespect from what, Clinton on down? I don't even know. Or maybe it's always been there, but the avenues of social media have just brought it out 100-fold. I don't know, but now it's bleeding into other countries.
Yeah.
So that's my number 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing when you have an opinion about anything, especially politics. It's a fine line between opinion and just being downright hateful. Okay. That's where the disrespect comes, Joe Biden was our president. Trump's our president now. I don't agree with 90% of both of them, of what they do, but they're still the president. And, you got to give them that due. But people don't. They're horrible people. Like when Trump got shot, oh, you missed.
Yeah.
Too bad he missed. 2 more inches to the right or left or whatever, another half inch to the left. It's like, man, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. And then when you watch the Reagan biography or autobiography, and he's walking out of the hospital after being in there after the assassination attempt, the entire country, even the news anchors that didn't agree with him, don't like him or whatever, all we came together as a country.
I know.
And that's just long gone. I don't know that it will ever be back.
It's because of the internet. The internet makes it easy to be a hateful, horrible person because you're never going to be confronted. People would not sit there across the table from somebody and do that.
Bring their head.
Most wouldn't. Some would, but most people would never do that.
Bring a severed head out on the stage with them. Wasn't that what she did? That comedian.
Oh yeah, what's her name? That pretty much ruined her career.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, all right. So mine's a POTUS.
Okay. Retail, believe it or not, it's once considered a respectable job. Adults would work full-time for years, with the same company, be knowledgeable about what they sold, and make a wage that could support a family. So after high school, when I moved out on my own, I had 3 jobs. Yeah, 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at the Light, and I worked at a health club, and I worked at a shoe store. Naturalizer shoe store in the mall, which sold to old ladies. Anyway, a couple of the people that I worked with had already been working there for like 30 years. and they loved it, and
Yeah.
they made a good wage. And, you know, I don't think that happens anymore. I just think retail now is, and I could be wrong. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been in a mall in years. You know, I just think it's for younger people that are just starting out, unless you're in management. I don't know. I could be wrong, but retail used to be a pretty good gig.
Mhm.
Not so much anymore,
Yeah.
if at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, because back in the day, I mean, there were all the department stores and everybody, you know, I mean, all the ones downtown, Lamson's. Oh, you didn't live here
I
back
wasn't
then.
there.
Yeah,
I just remember J.L. Hudson.
Yeah.
Hudson's.
Yeah.
That was a biggie when
Right.
Flint. You
Mhm.
went to Hudson's, you felt rich.
The Lion store.
Lion store.
Yeah,
remember
I
that
mean,
store?
all of that. That was, yeah. So back in the day when people actually had to leave their house to go shopping.
Yeah, but you know what? It's kind of nice.
Hey, listen, I
just ordered something from Amazon yesterday.
I'm guilty. I am guilty of sitting back and ordering. I mean, when I staged, I was going out often to, you know, always look for new inventory stuff, but I don't even miss shopping
I don't either.
except for new you know,
Clothes for the
podcast.
I'll get you some new t-shirts. How about that? Maybe I'll get you some more shirts from the station.
That thing popped up. Okay, what
It
is
always
Rick
does.
saying? Is there any young kids today that dream of being president like our parents' generation's kids did?
Josh kept saying he was going to be president growing up. Josh, like, when I
At
become
4.
president,
At 4.
I am going to eliminate all road construction.
Yep.
No road construction when I'm a president. I'm like, dude, that'd be awesome. You got my vote.
Because when he was in preschool in Atlanta, there was construction either
Everywhere.
way we went. So all the imagine Toledo's orange cones when they were all over the place. And yeah, he was like, I'm so over construction. When I'm president, not if,
Yep.
I'm gonna abolish all road construction.
Funny. There you go.
The voice of Steve is on Instagram, says Carson Prairie Scott. Carson Prairie Scott.
I don't know who that is. Is he quoting somebody?
Isn't that a politician?
Carson Perry Scott?
Peary, P-I-R-I-E.
Carson Peary Scott.
One moment, please.
Also known as Carson's, was a prominent American department store chain founded in 1854, known for its Chicago flagship store. Okay, so became the Sullivan Center.
Yeah, he said all department store in Minneapolis.
Okay,
You should know that.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Carson
Perry Scott.
Carson, yeah, okay.
I mean, I lived there in the 80s. They probably had them. I don't know. I wasn't going to the department
Yeah, I can't
store.
imagine you, shopping.
No, I was not doing that.
Is it my turn or your turn? Wait.
Doesn't matter.
Bankers / tellers
Yep.
is near the top of the list, and that it
Like
reminded
my uncle, two of my uncles, well, one I know for sure, became president of the bank and a big time in the banking business. And he started as a teller.
Mhm. Yeah, my dad too. My dad worked his way up to be vice president, would go in every day of the Monday through Friday in a suit and tie and his polished shoes, and he worked his way all the way up to vice president.
Did he start as a teller?
I don't know what he started as. Maybe
I don't know.
because his mom was a bank teller in Sylvania, so maybe you
Okay.
know.
Yep.
But because you just reminded me of your retail story that a lot of the bank tellers had been in the business for 30 plus years,
Yeah.
doing the same job because I loved it. So
I have one. Nursing. We went from heroes. They went from
Mhm.
heroes in COVID to expendable workers. There's no one with experience anymore. About 70% of nurses have been on the job less than 5 years and don't stay anywhere more than 2 years. Not to mention starting rates for new nurses in some areas is as low as $28 an hour for a degree and license. It's pathetic. Yeah. I still don't understand, and maybe nurses like this. I don't know. How can you work 7 to 7? How does that work? How do you work 12 straight hours? And I know you get like an hour or whatever off.
probably 2.
I don't know. How can you stay fresh when you're there that long? That's a long time, man. 7 a.m. to 7 p. 7 p. to 7 a. Especially, you know.
There's no
3 in
way
the
I
morning,
could do
it's like-
7p to 7a. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that would just be brutal. And now, granted, they don't work. I don't think they work every day. Well, it's almost like our firefighters do the same thing.
Right.
It's like, I don't know how you do that and stay fresh. I don't know, but we got to start taking care of our nurses, man, because at some point we're all going to need one.
Mhm.
And, you know, there's a shortage and people aren't going into the industry, and we have family that are nurses and we're very proud of them. And some family members that are going into nursing, you know. So anyway, nurses is another one.
All right. Here's one of mine. The police.
Yep. Police.
Cops. Police, man.
Yep.
Totally disrespected now. And again, I don't know if it's all, you know, the video footage that's come forward with showing police, you know, brutality or,
Right.
you know, arresting people for no cause or just because of the way they look, or I don't know what flipped that switch, but something certainly did.
Yeah. Well, again, being a police officer is like being a teacher and like being a nurse for the most part. It's a calling. It's not, I want to be a cop so I can give tickets and I want to yield that power.
Mhm.
No, don't go into law enforcement if that's your attitude. You know, you're going to get away with crap and you get to drive as fast as you want. And, you know,
That's a dangerous job.
it's a horribly
I
dangerous
mean, Mike
job.
Wheeler's son is one, and
In St. Louis.
Yeah, Trisha's always like posting stuff about, you know, praying for him and stuff because of his
Yeah,
safety.
and Trisha Courtney's son is one in Columbus. And you know, there's a lot of criminals in Columbus. Lots. Especially around campus.
There you go.
There you go. Anyway.
All right.
Mail carrier. We had a good half century where delivering the mail was highly paid, highly respected, a great job for people that didn't like the typical office or job site routine. 2024, the pay is subpar, moving towards outright poverty wages. The respect is still high, but waning due to out of control junk mail and subpar carriers who don't get paid enough to care. Listen, if you're doing a job halfway, stop doing it. Find a job that you like. Find your passion. That's what I tell Josh and Olivia. Whatever your passion is, find out a way to make money at it, because you'll never truly be happy. And all you're going to do is bring people down, and you're not going to be very good at what you do. And, you know, we go on for days about the U.S. Postal Service, right,
Mhm.
Cooch? I'm sure Cooch is probably going to, if he's watching, he's yelling. Because he knows he worked for the U.S. mail he never delivered mail. You know, but he's got stories, and, you know, he did it for 30, 35 years, just retired, the bragger. And he always was offended and irritated because he'd wear the shirt that says U.S. Postal Service. But he had no mail truck, and he worked on like equipment and stuff, and people would stop him and, you know, see if he could, you know, take their mail or whatever, like he's delivering mail. And he's like, do I look like I have a bag of mail somewhere?
That's so funny.
He's got a bad attitude. It's a good thing he retired. Anyway, but the mail carrier used to be a pretty good gig.
Yep. All right, let's wrap this up because we're gonna.
Are we? Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Last one.
Well,
Last two. Working on an airline. Not good anymore. Used to be a really, you know. And last one, real estate agents.
somebody commented, I prefer the fake ones myself.
Fake what?
Real estate agents.
Oh.
I thought that was funny.
Okay.
Regarding teachers, there was a administrator, a principal in a school. They had this poster in his office. God gives us children. The devil gives us their parents.
That's cute.
I know. I thought that was funny.
That is cute.
All right, real quick.
And Nurse Terry's chiming in.
Oh, let's see here.
There we go. This is very true, Denny, about nurses. Rarely do nurses get breaks, never an hour. I did both 12-hour shifts, and it was brutal. When I was in my 20s, it was nice, but harder as you get older. And a nurse actually works longer than 12 hours, usually 13 to 14 hours by the time you give shift report, finishing charting, etc. Nurses hold their bladders longer than they should many times.
Saturday on the Run.
Saturday.
Okay. Oh, Saturday on the Run.
Saturday on the Run. Worked 12,
7
mainly 7 for over 20 years. Yeah, I just don't think that's healthy. I don't know why. Your job is to give people health care. We need to take care of nurses' health while they're caring for us. So that I just don't
and
get
up their
that.
pay and teachers.
Yep.
Okay, so I looked up real quickly top jobs or careers for 2025.
Okay. Radio's not in there. I'm here to tell you.
Nurse practitioner is number 1.
Okay.
Physician assistant, veterinarian, healthcare professional, technology and STEM. It's IT manager, software developer, data scientist, cybersecurity expert, AI and ML engineer, renewable energy engineers. I see like this whole like flip of our just jobs in general, you know?
Yeah.
Financial manager, accountant, lawyer, general and operations managers, travel advisors. So yeah, there you go. That's from US News and Money. Best jobs.
Okay.
2025. So yeah. All right.
That it?
Yep, video, and then we'll talk real quick about Monday.
Okie dokie.
So you're gonna love this
And
video.
then I got to go watch the Tigers before the radio show starts.
Right?
Go.
You got the volume up?
I do.
This would be Curly's wedding.
Right.
Okay.
About the 1937 or 8.
Okay.
And
All right, we'll take a look at that. Curly being married and probably the hot invitation of the
right.
day.
And there he is waiting for his second wife, Elaine Ackerman. Her name was prior to her marriage. And there's Shemp. He's also waiting.
There's some question now that
That's my grandfather, the father of all 5 sons.
The father of the
3
Stooges.
Stooges. Not Larry, though. Larry is a little late as
Larry
usual.
looks great, doesn't he?
Doesn't he look terrific? Yeah. My dad.
Why, you.
He must have been about 39 there. All of them were in that age group, 38, 39. And my grandfather was he would smile, but when you see, there's the bride. That's Elaine.
Oh, boy, it's kind of a hot ticket, isn't she?
Right. She's a lovely lady. There I am. I
Yep.
guess I'm mugging it like my father. And that's my mother on the right. That hat is really something. She looked like she was frightened by a Playboy bunny. That's my grandmother. Mugging.
That's great. That's great.
There you go.
Where do you find those?
Well, it was on TikTok,
That's
but
funny.
I just because you love the Three Stooges.
Well, I used to, and you can't. If you watch them now, it's like, oh my gosh, how did I laugh at this? Anyway, but yeah, when I was a kid, that's all we did. We watched Three Stooges.
Yeah. But yeah, I just came across that yesterday. I'm like, I
funny.
love but they were hilarious. And the dad had 5 sons, of which she said the Three Stooges, but not
Mo
Larry.
and Shemp, and then Larry. I think Larry Fine. I think he might have been a cousin, and then Curly. So I think Mo and Curly were brothers, and Shem were brothers.
Right.
And
So
then
there had to be
Larry
2.
might have been, I don't know, cousin or whatever.
were. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
There you go.
imagine the money those dudes would be making now. Of course, you couldn't get away with what they did because it was so sexist and so violent.
Well, it looks like the whole family was.
Yeah, they
you
were
know.
into vaudeville and
Yeah.
acting and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So,
So, all right.
certainly.
All right. So Monday.
Monday on the show, music, live soundtracks, and storytelling. Ooh, tune in for that, people. And who's our Monday sponsor? I can't remember.
Oh, Glass City Staging and Design.
Oh, hey.
Brittany's back.
Nice. Well, thank you to John Castillo, today's
Thank you,
sponsor.
John.
You are an awesome human being. Pray that everybody has a blessed weekend. Go Tigers and El Wiedersehen.
Denny Schaefer. He's an idiot.